Hello. This video I am putting on for good reason regarding the election of a president and vice president in the United States. Most believe they elect a president. The fact is, it is an electoral college representative that votes and establishes our president. And these are called an electoral college. I'll begin with this little short story. Um, Americans are faced with a very flawed and criminally misused method of voting to elect our president and vice president. The method used is called the Electoral College, these being appointed by a state hierarchy of the winning candidate, and appointed representatives of each state are those that meet in Washington to actually vote our president into office. Some citizens still believe they vote a president into office. This, of course, is not true. Our Constitution has established that an appointed Electoral College representative or EC representative will cast their vote and elect our president. These representatives are appointed by leaders, I call political hacks, within each state whose presidential candidate, predominantly Democrat or Republican, wins the state popular vote. It is these appointed representatives of each state who, after the popular election, then meet in Washington, D.C. to cast their votes and elect our president. The number of Electoral College representatives for each state is determined by the number of senators, always two, plus members of the House of Representatives whose number depend on population within each state, never making fewer than 3 EC reps for each state. Many believe these EC reps are restricted by our Constitution to vote according to the wishes of those who appointed them, or at least is related in some way to the popular vote of the citizens. Again, this is not true. It is not a fact. Also, the labyrinth of stories told about this process are many. A more complete story is stranger than fiction. Do these facts so far raise issue of question regarding obvious opportunity for misuse and control by a powerful few individuals? A first issue for concern is that bylaws of each state regarding electoral college are subject to and written by leaders within each individual state. It is obvious these leaders will have interest in the outcome of these election results. It then is obviously unwise permitting these small groups of self-interested political leaders to make these laws, especially considering they bypass input from both citizens within their state, not to mention citizens of states around the nation. The possibility not only indicates but invites skewed laws benefiting only those leaders who make the laws. The total lack of control by citizens of every state could and does result in skewed laws benefiting only those leaders who make these laws. Biased laws of the past have worked to the disadvantage of citizens and specific groups of citizens. I'm thinking way back to the skewed laws about black citizens, but they continue to this very day. The second issue is that only 2 states in the United States have drawn up bylaws mandating their EC representatives must vote according to the results of the citizens' popular vote. There was an attempt by 26 states to enact laws mandating their EC must vote according to the popular vote, But as was shown in the Florida 2000 elections, these laws are so full of loopholes, even a crooked lawyer has trouble interpreting them. After the 2000 election, political football was played with the Florida EC. The Democrat Party, who supposedly lost the popular vote, said that the Republican win would be for naught, as the Republican EC representatives would vote instead for the Democrat candidate. Does this show that these few individuals involved in establishing electoral procedural law might prejudice or negate the purpose and will of some or all citizens within the state and perhaps the nation, and even these loyal EC reps might turn on their own masters and vote contrary to everyone's wishes? It is a fact there is no national rule or law safeguarding against this happening, and political party in power gerrymandering or redrawing districts within a state to swing voting in their favor is only one of the dirty tricks both the Democrat and Republicans have used to guarantee control over state elections. The third issue is that within state elections, except for two states, the EC vote available within that state are all given to the candidate who wins, the popular vote, and a majority is not required for this winner take all. This winner take all provision actually perpetuates only two political parties, essentially shutting out any third place third party, giving all these EC votes to a candidate political party who won their state election, negates the votes of citizens whose political party lost, possibly as much as 49% of that state's voters. These additional unearned votes belonging to the opposing political party, now giving advantage to their opposition nationwide, large population states in this way certainly overpowering the election results of small states. Consider the possibility of a single political, that is Democrat or Republican, party deliberately gerrymandering and drawing up EC laws within a number of large states. Using winner-take-all results, they could easily negate EC votes of many other smaller states. Consider also this same group gerrymandering their state boundaries to guarantee they win election. This happened in Texas in 2004 when out of scheduled redrawing of districts was forced by the political power that then won the election in that state. One reason given for having the Electoral College is that it gives some advantage to the smaller states. Relate this to New Mexico or North Dakota, whose similar small states having a total of around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 EC votes explains what advantage these small states have over a neighboring state like California, who have 54 EC votes. It is obvious that California has a large advantage over a significant number of smaller populated states. This is the advantage of small states are given. It explains why leaders within political parties concentrate on the 8 largest populated states in America. It takes 275 EC votes to elect our president. Ask yourself, is the Electoral College actually undemocratic in purpose and or result? Could this explain the nationwide drop in voter participation? It is a fact that less than 48% of the eligible voters in America voted in election year 2000. Hint: America's elections are referred to quite accurately as winner take all. Now, the obvious question is, who in fact is the winner? This question quite evidently answered within another pithy saying concerning politics in America, accurately describing our choices as among the lesser of two evils. This graft, G-R-A-F-T, got to make that clear considering politics, gives some idea how a corrupted political system is used to enable only the lesser of two evils in which the elite empire, sometimes called the military-industrial complex, controls our government. Consider the following. It is suggested we replace the winner-take-all elections with proportional, a representative election process. In this type of election, multiple reps are elected in proportion to the popular vote result. A simple description of this method is a candidate getting 49% of the votes is elected to have 49% of the office power. The candidate with 51% of the vote elected with 51% of the power within the office. Considering the fact that the vast number of elections voters go to, that is Democrat and Republican candidates, and the only one of these two will win, today by margins often of the few hundred votes. Instead, the result of proportional election would mean a marginally larger government, but representing proportionately a majority of Americans. After considering the above, also ask yourself if it would not be better if our president should be elected to the office by we the people popular vote instead by these mysterious EC reps appointed voters. That is the end of this little shocker. I meant it to be a shocker because Americans should look into the system we now have for elections and why we have only two political parties that shut out every other party or candidate that is trying to improve our government. So at that, then I will say I thank you for listening to this video. I hope it will give you some reason to look into what is going on in our government, especially in presidential emergency war powers that is constitutionally illegal and is not found mentioned in our U.S. Constitution. So at that, bye-bye. Thanks for listening.